Once upon a time, deep inside a glowing forest where fireflies floated like tiny stars and the trees hummed softly, at night there lived the smallest hedgehog anyone had ever seen. He was so tiny that even the wind sometimes pushed him off his feet. But one night, something happened in that magical forest that would turn his fear into courage and his doubt into something far more powerful than magic. Stay with this story, because the ending will surprise you and might remind you that even the smallest heart can change everything. If you enjoy magical stories with strong lessons about confidence, honesty, and helping others, make sure you subscribe and stay with me until the end, because this little hedgehog is about to face a challenge that will test his courage in ways he never imagined. The hedgehog's name was Nilo. He lived under a wide tree near the edge of the forest, where the light barely reached and the larger animals rarely noticed him. Nilo watched the confident deer leap over streams and the strong bears move fallen logs with ease. He saw the birds fly high without fear. Every day, he wished he could be brave like them. But whenever danger appeared, Nilo curled into a tight ball and hid. He believed being small meant being weak. One morning, a gentle rabbit named Luma found Nilo struggling to push a berry twice his size. "You don't have to do everything alone," she said kindly. Nilo smiled shyly but still felt small inside. Later that day, he overheard some animals talking. "The magical heart of the forest is fading," one of them said. "If it goes dark, the whole forest will lose its light." Nilo listened quietly. He wanted to help, but he didn't believe he could. Not far away lived a proud fox who once tried to control the forest. When the animals refused to follow him, he became bitter and angry. He heard about the fading magic and thought, if the forest loses its glow, they will need someone strong to lead them. "Someone like me." The fox began spreading fear, whispering that only the strongest animals deserved to stay safe when the darkness came. Smaller creatures grew worried. That evening, the sky turned a strange shade of gray and a cold wind moved through the trees. The glowing plants dimmed. The animals gathered near the center of the forest where an ancient stone stood. It was said the stone held the forest's magic. Now it barely shimmered. "Someone must carry a spark from the river of light to the stone before sunrise," an old owl said. "But the path is narrow and full of thorns. Only someone small enough can reach it." All the animals looked around. None of them wanted to admit they were too big. Nilo felt his heart race. He knew he was small enough, but fear wrapped around him like a shadow. The fox noticed and smirked. "That tiny hedgehog," he laughed. "He will get lost before he takes 10 steps. Doubt spread quickly. Nilo almost curled into a ball and hid. But then he remembered how Luma had helped him earlier. He remembered how alone he felt when he believed he couldn't do anything. He took a small step forward. "I can try," he said quietly. His voice shook, but it was honest. The owl nodded. "Courage is not about size," the owl said. "It's about choosing to move forward even when you're afraid." The fox rolled his eyes but said nothing. Deep down, he hoped Nilo would fail. If the hedgehog failed, the forest would lose hope and the fox could step in as a leader. As night fell, Nilo began his journey. The path to the river of light was narrow and dark. Thorny branches brushed against him. Strange sounds echoed. Several times he wanted to turn back, but each time he whispered to himself, "One more step." At the river, glowing water flowed like liquid starlight. Nilo dipped a small leaf into the river, capturing a spark of light. The moment he did, the ground shook slightly. Shadows moved between the trees. The fox had followed him, planning to steal the spark and claim the glory. He stepped forward with a sly smile. "Give that to me," he said. "You're too small to carry it safely." Nilo trembled, but something inside him changed. He remembered every moment he had doubted himself. He remembered every time someone kind believed in him. "No," he said softly but firmly. "This is for the forest. Not for power." The fox lunged forward, trying to grab the glowing leaf. Nilo reacted quickly, rolling into a tight ball and holding the leaf safely under him. The fox stumbled, surprised by the tiny hedgehog's courage. A brief struggle followed. The fox tried again, but Nilo stayed determined. He didn't fight with strength. He fought with persistence. Finally, the fox slipped on the glowing moss and fell back. Nilo saw an opening and hurried down the path. He was slow and scared, but he didn't stop. Step by step, he reached the ancient stone. The animals were waiting, worried and silent. Nilo placed the glowing leaf against the stone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the light spread slowly, like sunrise returning after a long night. The forest brightened. Fireflies lit up the air. The trees hummed again. The magic returned, stronger than before. The animals cheered. Even the owl smiled gently. The fox arrived late, breathless and ashamed. He expected anger, but Nilo looked at him calmly. "You wanted power because you felt ignored," Nilo said. "You can choose to help instead." The fox lowered his head, surprised by the kindness. I was wrong, he admitted quietly. I wanted to be seen, Nilo nodded. Helping others is how we all shine, he said. From that day on, the farce changed. The animals no longer judged strength by size. They remembered that courage can come from the smallest voice and the quietest heart. Nilo still felt afraid sometimes, but he no longer believed fear meant weakness. He learned that confidence grows each time you do something kind, honest, and brave. Travelers who passed through the forest often spoke of a tiny hedgehog who carried light through the darkness and showed everyone that confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, one honest step at a time. And if you ever feel too small to make a difference, remember Nilo. Sometimes the smallest step forward is the bravest one of all. Now I'm curious. Have you ever felt too small or too unsure to try something important? What helped you find your confidence? Tell me in the comments, because your story might inspire someone else today. And if this story made you smile or gave you a little courage, share it with a friend who needs a reminder that even the smallest heart can shine the brightest. Thanks for listening.